Alright everyone, I'm doing it again. I'm working without updating. I'm going to have to make this one kind of quick too because people are here. I got this glued in. I got the cross brace glued in. What I did next is I made like an LED Christmas light thing. These guys are wired in parallel. Some of you can be like, why don't you use LED tape? Well, I'm not using LED tape because that's 12 volt. And 12 volt power supply means wall, and I don't want to plug this into a wall, quite seriously and quite honestly. And then you're going to say, well, put a 9 volt battery on it. I don't want to put a 9 volt battery on it because the amount of LEDs I'm using, a 9 volt battery is going to last like a half hour. So I'm putting 2 AA batteries in here. That will last more than a half hour. I'm about to put these in place and glue them down on this thing. Again, this is all glued in and painted. And BB just walked in, bringing me presents. Thank you, BB.
You're welcome.
Okay, and I'll be back in a little bit. Everyone, I'm being really, really bad with these updates. You know, the contest is over tonight at midnight. It is almost 5 p.m., which means I have 7 hours left. The Cylon Raider needs weathering. That's it. Well, I gotta fix one little paint spot too. The TIE Fighter's done. It needs a stand. It does not have a stand. I'm about halfway done with the stand. What I'm here for, though, is the Cylon Raider stand. It's almost done. I gotta glue this rod in. Once this rod is glued in place, the stand is done for the Cylon Raider. Okay? That's going to be some epoxy. I'm going to have to let the epoxy half cure before I do it. Once this is done, I'm working on the TIE Fighter stand. Once the TIE Fighter stand's done, I'll weather the Cylon Raider. If the Cylon Raider doesn't get any weathering, I'm not going to cry before the contest is over, because at least I will have finished everything. But with 7 hours left to finish and take photos, I don't think it's going to be a problem, because for the TIE Fighter, it's just wiring. Most of the stand is done already. I just got 2 things to do that are going to be a little on the difficult side with it. Its stand should take me another hour, hour and a half. Well, anyhow, I'm going to mix up some glue and glue this rod in. And then the Cylon Raider will have a base to sit on, and I can quit resting it on boxes all the time, because it doesn't have landing gear. I will be back in a little while. I'll show you what I'm doing with the TIE Fighter. Hello everyone. We're here to do the final video for the Cylon Raider. I finished the Cylon Raider in July. It's now October, near Halloween. Halloween's 1 week away. I haven't gotten to this for various reasons. Just life has been getting in the way. But that's neither here nor there. That's for another discussion. We're here to talk about the Cylon Raider. First thing we're going to talk about is the base. Here's the final base. I got a couple of Cylons in there. You can see the little dots for their eyes. Just fine. Okay. The back side. Picture frame. That's exactly what it is. It's a thick picture frame. Okay. The inside of the picture frame looks like this. There are 4 LEDs, 1 on each side to backlight this, and a switch, of course. And I can put this back on. The battery case sits down in there, but barely, and I had to shave the battery case pretty well to get it to sit down properly so the base would sit. What I need to do, and that's not very time consuming on my part, is I need to come in here and put some feet on this base, because with the battery case in there, it doesn't like to sit too level, and a big model like this, you want it to sit fairly level. But there it is, it's closed, and you can see it. We're a fairly brightly lit room right now, but you can see it does light up without the model on it. Okay, and at night it looks pretty good. So there's the base. One thing about the base is I managed to get a short in here up at the top. And to combat the short, I put some super glue and super glued that in there. Some good old CA glue. Well, the end result was it didn't want to move, and it locked down in the shorted position, so I had to break it free and then re-glue it. Now it's a little weak. That's a heavy model on this. I'm going to have to add just a touch of glue and it'll be fine. Let's talk about the model itself. Moebius did a fairly good job with this kit. I will not argue with that. Fairly good job. I mean, it's a large kit. It's well detailed. It's assembled fairly well, but since it's a large kit, you have to pay attention to clamping around the whole extreme of the kit, or the seams don't shut down right. The biggest problem I also had with this kit was the wings, where these wings attached to the body. The pins on the wings were too long, and I had to shorten them. It took me a while to figure that out. Once I shortened the pins, yeah, Thunderpaws wants to join the video. Once I shortened the pins down, yeah, the model went together just fine. It really did, didn't it, Mr. Thunder? Okay. It went together really well. So that was the biggest thing about it. Now, something that didn't get detailed on the videos. You will get detail on these. These are not the kit supply decals. I made some paint mask and painted those with my vinyl cutter. Okay? Those are paint. Those are not paint masks. The stripes here, I did detail how I did the stripes on the sides and on the underside. Okay? Also, a lot of the little Aztec paneling with different colors, that was almost freehanded. I'll be honest with you guys, I put some tape on them the first time. I didn't like them. This piece right here was definitely freehanded with the airbrush. That's all freehanded. There was no masking for that piece. And there was no masking for these two pieces either. I freehanded that. What else? The weathering, and again, I kind of skipped the weathering, and that was not good on my part. I had some Vallejo pigments. I stuck them on a brush, dabbed it down in a spot, and then streaked it with Q-tips. I'm pretty sure that's what I did. I mean, it's been some time since I've done it. Put some down and then pulled it. And that's how the streaking got on the kit, on the model. Then I sealed it in with a clear coat so that the streaking wouldn't go away. And let's turn it. You guys haven't seen the back end of it. That's pretty much it. Now, on a scale of 1 to 10, how would I rate this model? About an 8, 7. I had some difficulties with this. It's not getting a 10. I know some of you really like this model kit, but I'm going to give it a 7 to a 10 because, I mean a 7 out of 10, because I did have difficulties. The wings didn't go on properly the first try. They didn't go on properly the second try. They went on properly the 12th try. It took me a while to figure out those pins were too long. Second, parts won't set down properly unless you really clamp them. And then even then I had some minimal seam filling along the edges here. And along here. So you didn't see that seam. Okay? Biggest challenge on this kit, getting the wings on. And this was kind of challenging too. I don't know if you guys can see the paint on the cockpit, but most people just paint the top of these gray. And I didn't like that look. So I masked it and did the side steps gray. Because to me, that's what that should have done. And that is not the easiest thing in the world to accomplish. Am I happy with the kit? Oh yeah, I am. I'm pretty happy with it. Hang on one second, I'm going to get something. I went to go get the Viper. What surprises me is the relative size of these two. I mean, look at the difference in the size. The Viper is tiny compared to the Raider. I mean, absolutely tiny. I have the Moebius Viper. I need to build it. This is the Revel one. This is their anniversary release of the Revel Viper. I like the Viper kit. It was actually the first model I built when I got back into model building. First one I completed. I've got a bunch of them in there that need some completion because I start, set aside, start, set aside. I was in over my head back then when I first got back into it about 5 years ago. I'm not anymore. Well, anyhow, Viper, Raider, I now have a pair of them to go together. One chasing the other. Pew, 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 pew. Yeah, we don't run around the house doing that. I don't think I ever explained the paint chipping on this one. Because I never made videos of this. This is before I did videos on YouTube. The paint chipping on this, you can see that's metallic paint. I did a silver base coat. I had some paint that was Rust-Oleum metallic silver. I sprayed as a base coat. Then I did Tester's gray primer, and that's Tester's orange paint. And when I was masking for the gray primer, for the orange, the gray primer came off the silver paint. And I was like, what? That looks horrible. And then you know what I did? I put the tape on top of the orange paint and peeled it up too. So now it looks like she's all beat up and not taken care of properly. That's what that looks like. And that was the whole intent. And that's why I left it that way. The weathering on this was done with oil paints. Just dab some oil paint on and let it streak. And I do like how the streaking came out on it. This today is still one of my favorite models. I think I did a really good job on it. And then the Raider I like too. It's just big. This is like a dinner plate. It's bigger than a dinner plate. Flying around the house. Well, that's it. I'm pretty happy with how the Raider came out. There's a few mistakes here and there on there, but they're not huge. If I were to take it to a competition, I'm sure a judge would find them. That's what their job is to find mistakes. Okay, one of them is in the clear coat. I'm going to point it out to you guys in case no one's seen it. It's right in here. I got the clear coat just a little thick, and it ran right across there. I hit it with the weathering, but if you look up really tight and close, you can see it. Okay? But anyhow, I'm going to quit because I'm starting to ramble a little bit. Oh, one other mistake I made. Some people pointed this out to me after I did it. I put the fiber optics for the headlamps here and here. They're supposed to go in the corners. Now the funny thing is, I did screen stills to figure out where those headlights went. And you know what? I saw them on there. So that's why I put them where I did. Other people told me they go in the corner. I'm not going to worry about it. This is my model and that's how it is. Well, we're going to go now. Again, I do like how this turned out. It turned out really nice. It looks good. It's an impressive thing to sit on a shelf, to say the least. And I'm not going to be upset about it. Well, there you go, folks. This is the final video on the Cylon Raider. 7 out of 10 because, well, a couple of things about it. I didn't mention the decal. Well, you'll see it in the video why I didn't use the decals. Decals are too thick. Moebius needs to fix that. They're way too thick. There's no way they're going to settle down and look right. Hence the paint. That paint looks just right. It does not look like a decal because it's not a decal. And it's in the cracks properly. It's just the way it should be. All right, everyone. I'm going to go. Have a good one.